All right, I'm trying to figure all this stuff out still. This is like my sixth one, and I'm still learning stuff about going live, so bear with me. I think I've got two people here. Shauna's here. Hi, Shauna. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. You're awesome. You are the best. I appreciate everybody that shows up, especially if they show up more than once. It means I haven't chased anybody away. So, yeah. So you're interested in black and white. I like black and white, but don't do it enough. I should probably do it more. So, yeah. So hope everybody had a good weekend. Good. Thank you, Shauna. All right. Let me think here. Make sure I got everything else set up right here. Get my webcam doom footage going up here in the right direction. I think that'll work. Let's see. Anyway. Hey, Al. Good to see you, buddy. Al's another one that I've never been able to chase away. Been trying now for, I don't know, 20 years, 15 years, whatever it's been. 10 years. So I've been trying, haven't I? Love you, brother. You know I do, man. So 2009. Yeah, I knew it was at least 2009. So let me think. This is 2026. So another 3 years. It's going to be 20 years, I mean. Right on. Hey, Rachel. Rachel's here. Rachel's in the house. You know, that was the first, that was the very first Solar Maximus. I think that practically anybody with digital cameras ever photographed when we were out there, Alan. What was great about those days was that digital photography wasn't so massive, you know, and so if you put it was exciting because we were going, holy crap, look at our cameras, you know. But back then you could put a photograph like the aurora or the Milky Way on the internet and people would go, wow, you know. Nowadays you put the aurora or the Milky Way on the internet and everybody goes, oh, okay, I already saw that, you know. So yeah, it was pretty incredible that night. So I still like the photos that we got too. Yeah. Of course, you know, 20 years later, kind of know more about what I'm doing and my camera's better. I'm not sure, but I think I was still shooting with the D90 back then, which is really awesome. I mean, it was the first camera that would even, no, what the heck was the top ISO was probably, I don't know, 1600 or something like that. But you could get some night shots with it back then, you know. You could take it out and actually get some Milky Way photos, whereas before that you really couldn't. So, but nowadays everybody and their dogs got a picture of the internet, or on the internet has got a picture of the aurora or Milky Way, it seems. Rebel XT. How much? What was the top ISO of a Rebel XT? Rebel XT ISO. Let me see here. This should tell me. If it'll tell me. Let's see. Where are the table of contents? Oh, for crying out loud. Maybe FAQs. Here, no, here I am going down a rabbit hole again. Where are the checklist, table of contents? Anyway, I don't know. I don't know how to use the internet very well, so I don't know why I couldn't find it. 6400, 1600. That's what I was thinking, Al. And I think my D90 was the same, but I think the camera that I was using before that was a D40X, and it was probably, I don't know, maybe 800 ISO, max ISO. I'm not sure. The Salty Dog. Salty Dog is in Homer, Alaska. It's on Homer Spit, and it's a pretty cool place. Hi, Bonnie. You're Alan's cousin, and you're willing to admit that. I kid. Alan is a good guy. I'm glad you're here, Bonnie. Thank you for showing up. Right on, Alan. Bringing family with him. So I got 7 people here tonight. For me, that's a pretty good group. So now, if I'm not mistaken, you guys right now are probably seeing my face in my crazy room here. You're probably seeing me on this. So I'm going to switch you over to Lightroom over here. And you should be able to see it there. Okay, so remember, I'm looking back and forth between two different screens and stuff here, so bear with me. I get sometimes distracted. Okay, so we're seeing Lightroom tonight, so let's get going. What time is it? It's 6:06 already. Time for some ale and ginger, and let's get to processing here. So everybody's heard of the zone system that Ansel Adams used. We're going to be doing some of that with this one. This is nothing more than just dodging and burning, and I've gone through it, I think, in almost all of the other videos that I've got, dodging and burning here in Lightroom. And we're not going to be bringing this into Photoshop tonight. We're going to do this whole workflow through to the end in Lightroom. So I'm trying to think, when was this photo taken? It was taken in 2015. So that was 12 years ago, or 26. I'm getting ahead of myself. So anyway, it was quite a while ago, and I think I was probably using, let me see, what was I using for my camera? Where's the info? Properties, that's what I'm looking for. All right, I was using a D800. Yeah, my D800. It didn't do sensor cleaning as well as the D850 seems to. And so I used to always get a lot of dust bunnies. So we're going to clean up a bunch of dust bunnies on that. That's this file here. So if you see on the screen right now, that's what we're going to kind of end up with. We go to, so yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's, yeah, I can look at it down here too. Yeah, I forget. I'm hardly ever there. I'm always zoned in on processing. So, all right, let's do this. Okay. All right. I'm going to hit revert or reset down here in the lower right. We're going to go back to the way it was. Okay. So this is an unprocessed file. We're in develop. I'm going to make sure that my lens correction, at least the chromatic aberration lens correction, is on. Now remember the other day I was telling you that you can turn this one off and on if you want to, and it messes with the barrel distortion. And on this one here, it takes barrel distortion away, and so you kind of have to sit and think about the way you want it. I kind of usually leave it on, so but that's completely up to you. All right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go up here to the basic panel. I can never remember the names of these things. And a lot of the sliders and stuff too is that I'm usually doing this, by myself here, and after a while, I get on like autopilot and stuff, and so I don't really sit and read these things. Sometimes I forget about them. Could be I'm getting old, feeble. Who knows? I don't know. All right. So the first thing I want to do with this file, I think, is to come up here. I'm going to go to this, change the color profile to neutral. And if you remember the other day, I was telling you about the neutral color profile. It kind of flattens it out a little bit. And some people don't want it flattened out. Some people think you need to do other things. And like I've always said, I don't know if this is right or wrong. This is just how I do it. So, but I like to flatten it out a little bit because it's usually helps me recover the shadows a little bit better. And I always like to be able to see into my shadows. And my style of processing is it allows. I mean, the way I do it allows you to be able to look into the shadows. It's very rare that you can't at least see something in my shadows. So I like to be able to go into the Adobe Neutral. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on black and white right here. We're going to click on that. And you'll notice down here it says color mixer. As soon as you click on black and white, it turns into black and white. And it does changes from color mixer to black and white sliders here that adjust the photo depending on the color. Okay, so you can choose. So let me think here. I always like to pull my sliders back and forth. So there's nothing happening there. Nothing happening here. There's no yellow in there. Probably no green in there. A little bit up there in the trees, but not enough to mess with. And the aqua, where's it at in the photo? Nowhere. See, this is mostly, here we go. There's some blue in it. So you can see how the blue, you raise the only one that is a little bit better example to do, but because then if you had some red flowers, you can turn the slider back and forth and make the flowers brighter or darker. And if you had some really nice color green grass or something like that, you can give that a brighter or darker feel. And that kind of allows you to be able to shape the tonality of the photo using the color in the photo. So I'll do this again sometimes, and I'll choose a different photo that will give a little bit more of a, will show a little bit more of change in the tone according to the colors. So as a matter of fact, the blue one, like I say, the blue one, I think, was it the blue one? Yeah. See, that's doing nothing more than a global exposure adjustment, really. So I just am not going to do anything over there. But what I am going to do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to use a mask, and I'm going to choose the sky. It's going to create a mask of the sky. Now it's kind of bleeding over the mountains and stuff here a little bit. But let's see. What we can do is we can create a, okay, where is it? Let me see. We can say subtract, and then we can go, let me think, what could I use? Tone, color range, illuminance range. So maybe that's what I want to do. I want to touch it right over here. I think that took away. No, it didn't really take it away. I probably should have just chosen object. So let me do this. Let me try it that way. I'll go over that horizon maybe. You got to mess with this stuff sometimes. So let me go back, Control Z. All right. Okay, so now we're going to choose the sky. It bled over. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit subtract, and I'm going to do, let's just do a brush. And we'll brush this in over here. There's probably a faster way to do it. Now you look here, and I've got a very thin gradient there. And I can change that here by hitting shift and scrolling on my mouse. But I want a really tight one. I don't want it bleeding over the edge too far. Just another little bit for it to, a little bit, so that it's just not really harsh there. We'll come over the mountain a little bit here. I'm going to hit Alt, and I'm going to go up and dress up that edge a little bit. Alt will switch it from minus to positive. And this doesn't have to be perfect. And I'm kind of doing this more as a demonstration than anything. But we've refined that mask now with that. Okay. So let me see. Something we can do is we can duplicate and invert the mask, and that'll create a mask for down below. And then we can make these adjustments down below here and without affecting the sky. If we want, we can go up to the sky. I got to get some new glasses. I'm going to bring the sky down because it's kind of bright, and I want to bring those clouds in. You can see those clouds. So I might do a little bit of contrast, a little bit of highlights, some shadows, a little bit of white, a bit of black in there, kind of like that. We can come down here and actually mess with them with the tone curve too if we want to. There we go. You can kind of see the clouds a little better up there. So now what I've done is I've introduced some texture into the sky. And black and white is, in my world, when I'm doing something in black and white, I like a lot of texture. The color is no longer defining the photograph. So when you take the color away, I like to have at least some sort of texture there. So a lot of these high texture photos are what I really enjoy doing in black and white. So, all right. And I waited to go up here and fix these dust bunnies you see up here in the sky until I adjusted the sky down, just because they're easier to see. All right. So we're going to come up here. We hit the remove tool, and I'm going to let's see, make this bigger. All right, and what I'm going to do is hit my space bar. Sometimes I forget if I'm in Lightroom or Photoshop. Sometimes my brain. All right, what I like to do is I like to come up here and go up to one corner or the other, and then surround the dust bunnies. Then just go through here and click over the top of them, and make sure you cover. If you notice, there's a little bit of a radius around each one, so make sure that your brush is surrounding that. And don't make it any bigger than you really need to. All right, and hit space, move your photo over, and we can keep on clicking on here. And let's go through this. Get those out of there. This was a very bad. I'll have to check the files. This may have been right after a windstorm in the Alvord or something like that. I don't know. There's a lot of dust bunnies here, so I see. Whoops. Control Z will always back up your. So, all right. Something else too is a little bit of a hack. I like to come over, hit remove now next. Okay, so I'm gonna hit remove, and it's gonna sit there and it's gonna fix those spots. Something that what I was gonna say is something I like to do that helps me see these spots easier. And I'm not sure why. It's just my method. It's just that sometimes when I'm staring at the screen, I can't see them as well as I can if I hit the space bar and then move the photo. And then it seems like my eye can pick them out a little bit better. So there's quite a few here. So it's going to take about a minute or so for it to go through and take those out of there. So, and nowadays our cameras handle dust bunnies a lot easier. I don't have to clean my sensors often, so maybe I'll do a video about sensor cleaning or something sometime in the future. So, okay. Anyway, I'm very impatient. And I got a pretty snappy machine. It's maybe about a year old, and I had it built just to do this. I like instant gratification or something, I guess, but gives me a chance to stand up, walk away a little bit sometimes. So I noticed that Lightroom, it takes a little bit more time to do this for some reason. I'm not sure why, compared to Photoshop. So, little Hazel's down here right behind me. Hazel's always next to me. She is always with me. Her job in this world is taking care of me. Just ask her. Okay, we're almost there. Almost there. Sweet. All right. If you guys notice here, it'll show you all the places where you're corrected. All right, come on, it's still thinking or something. All right, let me zoom out. Come on. All right, fine, whatever, I'll do it this way. All right, my computer's picking fights with me tonight, guys, I guess. Oh, you know what's crazy? Yeah, I got a couple more here. I got to get out of here. There's one right there. I want out of there. And let me see. I'm going to move because, like I said before, it seems easier to see them when I move across. So, Yeah, you want to hear something that's really crazy? I like to tell myself I have the worst luck in the world, but I'm already kind of stressed out as it is, wanting to make sure all these videos go well, you know? And so I come in here and I get everything ready. I bring YouTube up and I bring my the video up, and it's supposed to give you like a preview. And it wasn't reading my camera. I look up, and when the camera's working, it's got a little white spot on it or light on it, right? I'm looking up, and the light isn't coming on. I'm unplugging it and plugging it, and I'm doing everything. I'm going, what the heck, man? It was like, it was maybe 10 minutes until. So I'm scrambling, trying to figure out what's going on. I decided to reboot the computer, and fortunately, at about 5 minutes till, I finally get everything rebooted and I get everything brought back up again, and the camera's working. And so it's like one of my worst nightmares is to have everybody show up and I can't sign into the live video. All right, we got through with that. I apologize about all the dust bunnies, but if you weren't really aware of how to take care of that, you sure know now, don't you? So let me go back up here, and I'm going to click on this mask here, and I'm going to start playing with the tone sliders here. Okay, so I basically want to be able to have a lot of contrast in here, and I also want to bring up a little bit of the shadows in those trees. Another way I can do that is I can do another let's see, another, I'm going to hit where is it, radial, select objects. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go around these trees and buzz around these trees here, because I want to separate those from the rest of the photo. Now it should just select those trees. Close enough. Okay, I want to maybe bring the highlights up a little, or the exposure up a little bit. There we go. We can really see the trees now. Something else I want to do is I want to subtract, and I'm going to hit the brush, and I'm going to go over here because it, oops, let me hit Control Z. I want to make that subtract brush. I'm going to come over here and make the gradient bigger, because I really made it small. Come on. My computer's messing with me tonight. And I'm just going to dust that out over in that corner over there, because I don't need it. Okay. Right on. So now I'm going to choose those trees, and I want to bring in a little bit of highlights in them and a little bit of shadows back in. Not very much. Remember what I said earlier, I like to be able to see the trees, see into the shadows. So, all right, let's start giving it a little bit more contrast and stuff here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. I'm going to look into it, and I'm going to bring in a little bit of texture. Not a lot, just enough to like maybe sharpen it. You can really get a little bit carried away here. Move back out. And I might even bring a little bit of dehaze into it. Okay. All right. Something else I want to do now, because it's going to be a very important component of the photograph. And you remember the other night I said to add a vignette and kind of walk away and come back, and most of the time you'll be able to take your vignette and soften it a little bit more, because it's really easy to over vignette a photograph. But in this photograph, I think a good bold vignette is going to help us out. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to hit effects down here in the bottom. I'm going to bring this up. And remember, what I like to do is I like to bring it all the way up, and then I vary the midpoint or the roundness or the feathering of it until I got it the way I want it. And then I back it off. The reason I do that is because you can see it better. You know, if you've only got it just very slightly done, you know, it's hard to see that way. So I'm going to bring this down. And I'm going to be correcting this up here in the upper corner. See how dark it is up there? I'm looking at this bottom down here right now. I probably should have done this. I wonder if I could have done this differently. Let me think about this for a second. Let me see. Let me reset this. I want to try something different. I'm going to go up here to my masks. I'm going to hit that mask. Then I'm coming down here, and I'm going to I wonder why it's still giving it to me in the corners, though. I don't know. Strange. But either way, doesn't matter. I'm giving it that vignette there. Let me see if I can mess with this a little bit more. Bring it back a little bit. All right, now let me do this. I'm going to mess with that sky because that's a little bit too much for me. I'm going to, where is it at? Oops. Mask. Subtract. And I'm going to use a gradient, linear gradient. I'm going to pull from this corner up here. And then I'm going to hit plus linear gradient and pull down from here. I mean, where is it? There we go. Exposure. A little bit like that. Let me see. Where's the other one? Okay. Whoops. I did that wrong. But it doesn't matter. I achieved the same thing. I'm a knucklehead tonight. You go back in here, and I want to hit the sky. Right there. All right. I'm going to hit subtract. Linear gradient. I'm going to confuse the hell out of you people. All right. So now I'm going to go up and hit this one, and I'm going to delete it. Delete mask 3. Okay. So now what I've done is I've subtracted it from the sky up there instead of adding a gradient up there. But let me see here. Hit that. I want to give it a little bit more up there. And then I think I want to, let me just get out of here. I'm going to mess things up. All right. Hope that helps, but I'm still not happy with that sky. So I think what I want to do is fix it. So I tried to get fancy, didn't I? So I'm going to add to it, and I'm going to hit linear gradient. So I got to I could have hit Control Z. Now I'm acting dumb here. Control Z. Let me hit this. It's doing the whole damn thing. I apologize. Sometimes I do this to myself. I get too far into it, and there we go. We're getting back. All right, let's try this again. I'm going to leave that mask intact, and I'm going to hit another one here, and I'm going to hit linear gradient. There's always 2 ways around the block on these when you're processing like this. Okay, I'm going to pull that exposure up a little bit. There we go. It's more like it. Now I got more control. I'm going to hit linear gradient. I'm going to pull one over from here. Pull this up a little bit. All right, now I can affect both those corners. So anyway, all right. Okay, looks like we're almost getting there. Let me see. I want to bring in a tone curve adjustment here to refine this stuff. Bring the lights, bring down the shadows a little bit. Okay. Okay. There's nothing else down here that I want to mess with. Okay. So I'm coming up here and taking a look at what I have. So I want to do some global adjustments up here. I want to bring up the shadows a little bit. Highlights. Let's do it this way. We created that mask. Let's use it. Shadows. This is all subjective. Let me see. It's all up to you because you're the one that's the artist. So you see, I'm making just little bitty adjustments at this point. So Hazel, come here. I didn't mean to interrupt your sleep. Come here. Hop up here. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. Come here. Come here. Come see daddy. Come on up here. Come here. Here, let me carry you. Come here. It's okay, baby. Oh, come on. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. It's okay. Hazy was sleeping. Were you sleeping, baby? Did I interrupt your sleep, huh? Yeah. Am I watching TV here? What am I doing? Okay, you can get down. Good girl. Good dog. She gets grumpy. She's 4 years old now. I have to ask Darlene what day it is, but she's either just had a birthday or is about to have a birthday. So she's 4 years old. So, all right, let me see. Let me look at this again. I want to go up here to my global adjustments, I think, and mess with this whole picture. I want to make it a little darker. I want to make it moodier. That looks better just by itself. So, and I think I want to do a little bit here. Let me see. A little bit of a little bit more adjustment in my tone curve. And if you remember what I was saying the other day, that I use my tone curve to do fine adjustments. So, and I'm using fine adjustments. Oh, there's a dust bunny there. I missed. Get that out of there. All right. Okay. Try this again. Okay. Remove. All right. We're getting close. See how easy this is? This is probably not the best one to have done this now that I think about it. But a high contrast one. And the only reason I said that it may not be the best one is because this one is just got just a here. This is the before. You can see it. The only color in it is blue. I probably should pick another one to redo this in another video, another live video. Make sure that I have one with a lot of colors in it because it's really cool when you can separate like flowers from the grass and things like that. So, but it is what it is. This one here is a really powerful black and white photograph. I've printed this one before, and it's really cool. So, all right, let me think here. Let me know if you guys have any questions or anything. Well, those trees are bothering me. They're too bright. There we go. Cool. You can go through here and you can create masks, all through here. If you need to balance stuff out, you could probably make a mask for the mountain, one for the sky, one for right, another one for the water or something like that. But I like try to keep things as simple as I can. So, all right, let me think. All right, one thing I do want to do is something I never do because I'm always doing it in Photoshop. But I wanted to try out. What am I looking for here? I don't even know how to do it in Photoshop. I mean, Lightroom. I guess it doesn't matter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try with noise reduction here. Okay, hit the detail. All right, try that. See what it does. They keep changing. The reason I act a little bit vague with this is because I've done this in Photoshop, but they've changed a lot since I've done it last. So let's see here. Actually looks pretty good. That's too soft. But maybe it was just rendering. Oh yeah, no, it was just rendering. So no, that actually doesn't look too bad. And what's really cool about doing noise reduction in Lightroom is that you can also sharpen it in the same module. So down here, you can do the denoise up here, and then you come down here and sharpen it at the same time. So if it softened it a little bit, then you could. All right. And then another thing I like to do after I've sharpened it is I hit Alt or Option and I hit the masking deal down here. And every place that's white on here, it will sharpen. And then all the places that are black or have less texture on them, because this is kind of finding the edges of things, right? So if you hit the Alt or Option button, you can refine where the sharpening goes. So, also if you're messing with the amount of sharpening and stuff, let me see. You can come down here and mess with the radius. You should zoom into it though. And you can hit Alt or Option and then hit the radius, and it should. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm going all the way over and all the way back. And so that's the radius is how sharp, or how, I'm saying the right word, thick the edge sharpening is. Then the detail, you can do that too. And a lot of times detail will introduce a little bit of noise. That's unless you have that area masked off. But I think it looks pretty good. So what do you guys think? Did we do good? How long did that take me? 45 minutes? And I was fumbling along. So let me think. You guys have any questions about that? I wonder if we should choose another one. Let me see if there's another one I could bring in real quick if you guys got the time. Oops, where am I at here? Oh, here we go. I don't even know the way around my own machine. Let me find one in here that might work if I can find. Let me see here. Huh. These are all old photos. Let me think. Oh, this one. Well, this one was kind of cool to convert. Let me see here. Where's this one located? What am I doing here? Let me do it. Let me think about this. Yeah, I think I want to do that. So this one is in April 25th, another 2015 photo. April 25th, 2015. Let me see if I have it here. Probably don't have it open. So let's do this. Import. This was on a day we went to Shaniko. 424. Maybe it's in here. Ah, I know why that one. That one's an infrared. I forgot about that. Infrared is awesome. If you guys ever convert your camera over to infrared, so I'll import them anyways. Yeah, if you ever do a infrared conversion, it's a lot of fun. And the only thing that I really did much with the darn thing was, let me see here. There we go. Let's do this one. Well, I mean, why not, right? All right, this one here will at least show you how the colors work on here. So we're going to go to basic. Well, let's make sure that our lens correction and stuff is fixed on here. And so somehow I lost my settings for import, but you can set the Lightroom to set that for you when you import your photo in there. So, all right, so now let's go up here and let's click on black and white. All right, and we're going to go down here, and remember it turns from color mixer to black and white. You pull this up, and let me see here. No reds to speak of. Let me think. There's a little bit of them in the rust there. Let me see here. I always like to see where it's affecting it. See how it's messing with it, or messing with. It's affecting the sky. This orange is affecting the sky. That one doesn't do anything. Huh. Well, let's bring it up and process it anyhow. Highlights down. I brought the exposure up. I'm going to bring the highlights down a bit here. And I'm looking down below here in the graphs. I'm going to mess with the sky separately. So, and the truck. And bring some whites into it. Bring some blacks up. A lot of times when I bring my blacks up, I have to bring my exposure back down again. And it's different. It's the blacks are going to affect the darkest part of the photograph in here. And remember me and shadows, I like to be able to look into my shadows. So, all right, so let's go up here and let's create a mask for the sky. And we're going to click on that. We're going to bring the exposure down a little bit. And then we're going to bring, I'm looking at the shadows right now, okay? Here. Highlights down a little bit. I want to be able to not have the clouds blown out. In other words, I don't want like complete white anywhere. I want to be able to see the texture in the clouds. So I've got something up here that's bugging me. And I think it was let me see. Let me just brush this out of there. Move. All right. I don't know what it was, but I didn't like it. So, all right. What I want to come in here and do is hit create a new mask. And I'm going to select the subject. And it should select this truck for me. Allow me to separate that from the rest of the scene. It did a pretty good job, but it gets a little confused down in the grass a little bit there. All right, let's process the truck now. I like a little bit more contrast in my black and white shots than I do in my color photos. So, all right, Alan. Take care, buddy. See you next time, man. All right. So let's bring the exposure down and then bring some of the whites up in there. There we go. Something like that. Let's put a vignette in this and transform. Oop, not transform. What am I doing? Effects. And let's put a vignette in there. Just a light vignette. And then I want to add a linear gradient to the sky up here at the top. I don't want it quite so dark up there at the very top. So let me go back up here. My highlights kind of went up in the clouds, so I want to bring those down. Bring my contrast down a little bit. Then I want to bring this truck up a little bit. And then come up here and bring the global exposure for the whole photo down just a little bit. So there we go. Let me think. Would this one be better? Ooh, that's cool. What can we do with this one? Transform. We still got a couple more minutes for so I'm going to mess with this one a little bit before I let you guys go. So we're going to go up here. We're going to make sure that our lens correction is done here. Hi, Inky. Well, hi. You want to say hi? Come here, Inky. Come and say hello, Inky. Wow. Inky's in here. Inky wants to say hi. All right. I know, Inky. I hear you. So now we're going to go up here. We're going to hit black and white. And I'm going to go down to black and white here, and I'm going to see what I can do with this one. So I think the sky. Oh, hi, Inky. Sorry, say hello. Hi, Inky. Hi, Inky. You good kitty. She wants to sit on my lap. All right. I'm looking at the sky right now to see which one's affecting the sky. That one affects the building. Hi, Inky. I know. I love you too, kitty. Yeah, that's that yellow one, is it? That's the one. Now I'm going to come up here. I'm going to select that building. I'm going to select subject. There it is. Oh, good kitty. And then I'm going to click on the filter again and bring this one up, the building up a little bit. Then I'll come down here and hit effects, give it a little bit of a vignette. Hit that building again. Maybe I'll hit the tone curve. Hope you guys can hear me. I just realized I'm not. What am I doing? Trying to bring in. There it is. My glasses has a lot to do with it. I broke my glasses for a while and I haven't replaced them yet. So there it is. That's what I'm looking for. There we go. You know, Al, how Adams used to like to make his skies really dark. You can kind of do that in here too. So let me think here. Oh, look at that. Let's change this one to black and white. Just take a couple more minutes, okay? You guys have the time. Yeah, I still got 6 of you on the hook here. So let's start here. Let's go down to lens correction. And then we're going to come up here and we're going to, what we're going to do is make a mask. See, the foreground is really has a nice exposure to it, but the eye is really bright. So if we separate it, bring the exposure down in the sky, that really brings and balances the photograph. So, all right. Let's come over here and convert it to black and white. How's that sound? Basic, black and white. We come down to the color slider. Color, where's it at? Black. Oh, black and white. So I'm looking for color, black and white. So we come into this black and white one here. We can separate all these colors. So here's the green. Not the green. Here's the green. We can affect the green. Maybe we can affect the horse with some of these. Horse. And that fence up there a little bit. I think that house is red. See how the roof of the house. Now watch the roof of the house. And then this is the orange. And the yellow, that's effective. Of course, the grass has yellow in it. So aqua. Blue. Look up in the sky. You can see the blue of the sky coming in. And let's see if there's anything in there. The purple affects the sky a little bit there. All right. So now we've gone through there. You can really see how to affect the tone of the photograph with these color sliders now. A lot easier. So, all right. Let me go down here and do a. Let's do a vignette on this too. Come up here, basic, and make the exposure up a little bit. Highlights down. Notice the sky, everyone. And then we'll bring the shadows up a little bit. So, that. Oops, let me see here. There we go. That's what I meant to do. Before and after. We can actually do a little bit of a tone. Would help it a little bit. Okay. All right. Does that help you guys understand how to use the colors in your photograph to tone in the photos? So I want to make that horse stand out a little bit. I'm going to hit select object, and I'm going to paint around Mr. Horse. Let's see here. Let's see what happens. Hey, now we're on a roll. Let me make him a little bit brighter. See how that looks. Try to separate him from the grass a little bit. Cool. You guys have any questions for me at all? How about suggestions for what I should do a live video about next in the future? I'm happy to take any suggestions you guys have. So make sure you guys remembered your father today. I got 2 good sons. Both of them got a hold of me today and told me they love me. So must have done something right when I raised my boys. But they're not boys anymore. They're both of them are over 40 years old now. My youngest is 40 and my oldest is 42. I think I got that right. Maybe it's 41 and 43, but I think it's 40, 42. But yeah, I miss my dad. My dad's been gone for a while now. He only made it to 62. So if your dad's around, feel fortunate. Thankfully, my mom is still around, so that makes me happy. All right, you guys want me to do another one? Or are we done? What do you think? Any questions at all, you guys? I want to come in and raise the contrast. See, what happens is that you look away and then you look back at it again. You make a couple more tweaks. So, okay. $56. Wow. You know, now that I'm 68, which is hard for me, my mind to wrap around. You know, now that I'm the age that I am, I realize how young, 56 is, or 62. My grandfather on my dad's side, he was 65 when he died. And then my mom's side, he was 2 years old, or my mom was 2 years old when he died. And so he died in 1940. I don't know how old he was, very young. And he died from basically congestive heart failure. They can just give you a pill for that nowadays. But back then, you died, you basically, water in your lungs. So, right on. Okay. Oh, Rachel's still with me. So cool. I think I should field questions from you guys now. What do you think? Have any questions? Otherwise, I'm going to call it quits here. We've done an hour tonight, and I've been really wanting to keep these about an hour. A couple of them were pretty long, so if I shut it off in an hour, I think that hopefully we'll be able to not get bored, keep these things rolling. Not that I would get bored. I'm pretty excited about everything. I really am excited about everybody showing up here and helping me pump my YouTube channel up a little bit. I really wish I would have started a long time ago. But anyway. All right, everyone. If we have no questions, I'm going to say goodbye. And I'm going to be here next Sunday. I'm going to try to keep this on a roll. If we have some sort of a holiday or something, I may not be able to do it. But yeah, that's my plan. Be here next Sunday night. So if you guys are free, I'll be here. All right, everybody. Thanks. I appreciate it. Take care of yourselves. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Shauna. I really appreciate you guys showing up. Rachel, Shauna, thanks for sticking with me. And reach out to me if you guys have any questions, okay? I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have and suggestions about future videos, like I said. So, all right. All right. Thanks again. Take care. Bye.